Good morning, this is TCR, TroyCommunityRadio.com. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN. Time now for the Mayor's Report, and with me this morning is Mayor Michael Beamish. Good
He is
morning.
with you there, Clint, and David, and all the listeners out there. It's going to be a beautiful weekend.
Looking forward to a beautiful weekend. Some cooler temperatures at night, and that hasn't been so bad either. A chance to turn the air off and open up the windows again.
Temperatures, you never know. In this Midwest, what the temperature will be from day to day, not only hour to hour maybe. But we have a lot of good temperatures right now. It's nice sleeping weather.
Oh, it is good sleeping weather. Hey, you had council this week, Mayor.
We did have council this past August the 7th, and we'll again have council on August the 21st, 7 o'clock, City Hall. But we did have a number of pieces of legislation. In fact, we had 2 resolutions and 3 ordinances. All were at the emergency level, which means that we have to have a supermajority to pass legislation for emergency. We did have 8 members of council present of the 9, so that allowed us to do what we needed to do in terms of conducting business. So I'll start with the resolutions because one of them is very important. It's in our downtown area. Troy Community Works is really working to promote and develop and restore one of the buildings in the northeast corner of our downtown.
I always call it the old David Shoes building.
Yeah, that's probably most people that have been around Troy do recognize that.
Mm-hmm.
So in that building, and that required us looking at giving them a grant, which also then allows them to go out and look at banking institutions for continued funding so they can move forward with the restoration project. And that passed 8-0 as emergency legislation because it is our downtown, and they're working very hard to preserve that building and get it up to speed and actually bring business and maybe some residential to that area.
Well, you see the 121 building, and what a beautiful job was done to that one. I can't wait to see this building.
So that's one. The other thing is down around Fossway, Stony Ridge, we've had assessments, sidewalk assessments, and so they did appoint a 3-person board they call it the equalization board. If somebody has issues in that area with the estimated cost for replacement of their sidewalk, then that meeting will take place on August 22nd with that board, and people can come if they think that their numbers are out of line and share that. That'll be at 6:30. That'll be in City Hall on August 22nd, and that again is only for those who have a sidewalk assessment in the area between Fossway, Stony Ridge, in that area of town.
Okay.
So that passed unanimously as well to move forward with that appointment, that board. There's a 3-person board. That's 2 pieces of resolution legislation. Now we'll go to the ordinances, and the one is Pink Ribbon Girls came up and asked for a October 6th event here in downtown. And to do that, we have to have a notwithstanding clause to set up how they want to operate. It's a fundraiser. It's cancer awareness, good cause, and they
good group of girls too.
Yes, and so that was an emergency piece of legislation. Did pass, and they will move forward with that. That's down the road in terms of setup and what kinds of things need to be done to prepare for that event. But it is a good cause. The other 2 pieces are kind of combined. One was in the utilities division, some reorganization within that division, pretty just basic to try to take a look at the whole, and that passed unanimously as emergency. The other was the street foreman position, trying to elevate the status there. Our street foreman, he has a lot of responsibilities, and he's a lot of people working with him in the streets. And so this elevated his status equal to the other foreman's positions, and that passed unanimously as well.
Wonderful.
So those were the 5 pieces of legislation, and then
you had an appointment to
Yes.
the new appointment to the park board.
Well, Becky Pierce has served for a number of years, and Becky was wonderful, and it was good. We had a woman's perspective on that, so it was my responsibility and privilege to go ahead and appoint somebody to take Becky's unexpired term, which goes through July of 2018. I'm happy to report that Susan Westfall, one of our downtown residents, will assume that position for the unexpired term, and she's already had one meeting under her belt already, but I did want to share that as an appointment that the mayor has that opportunity to do, and we did that.
All right. This month has just been filled with entertainment already. Under our belt, just down at Treasure Island on Tuesday night, they had Storks with the library and the Troy Miami County Public Library and the Troy Foundation put that on. Big blow-up screen. And then tonight on Cherry Street, now called the Cherry Street Commons, you have the big screen, and you've got Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
People, know about our. We've had a bicycle-friendly contest going on. That'll be announced on August the 12th in the evening at dusk. And Pee-wee's Big Adventure is going to be the movie of choice. It's a family-featured movie, and it's in a venue that we're trying to experiment with to see what the possibilities are. So again, it's an experiment. We hope people get involved. We are going to have a bike in. Our paramedics, our fire paramedics, will lead the parade of bicycles into the North Cherry Street Commons, and they'll start both at Hobart Arena as well as Treasure Island, and we'll come in. So that'll be a bike in, if you will. That's just another idea we're trying to do to be bike friendly and share the road.
Now, I talked to Gary Stanley last week, and he had said that when they do the event and the kids come down to Treasure Island, if they do not have bike helmets, they're going to set the kids up with bike helmets tonight.
That's true. It is really a safety awareness program, if anything, to add to the movie night, to add to bike friendliness, and it should be a fun event. We're going to give it a shot. We are trying to do different kinds of activities to just see what the possibilities are. We're not doing away with Crowley Plaza. We're not doing away with the amphitheater. In fact, we have a lot of good events coming up. We could talk about a couple of those upcoming events.
Absolutely. Well, like we just said, down at the amphitheater on Tuesday night was they had the movie Storks down there.
Absolutely. We're trying to have a lot of different activities, a lot of different events across the ages, so people have something that they can always look forward to.
And last weekend, Tusk.
Yes, that was a big hit.
Yeah, no kidding. There was no place to park. It had to be just absolutely packed down there.
And that's exactly what the vision was always about, is to try to have different looks and different ambiances and have different activities for people of all ages to enjoy right here in downtown Troy or in our park system at Treasure Island.
What I like is that I can park either over at Hobart or I park at the city park and walk right over on the levee on the bike path and drop right down into Treasure Island.
Good view.
Then when the event is over, I have a little walk to get back to my car and I can just boogie on home. You don't have to wait for everyone to file out, and so it kind of clears up the congestion too, to walk over to Treasure Island for the events.
Right, but speaking of Treasure Island, on Sunday, we've been talking about the movie night on Saturday night, but on this Sunday at the Treasure Island Amphitheater, our own Troy Civic Band is going to perform again, another concert. I think it's called Dance, Dance, Dance.
That's what it is. Dance, Dance,
Dance. Happy
Dance.
feet there going, but that's another opportunity. I hope people will come out and see our locals, our professionals, our wonderful band, and they are headed by the McIntoshes. They alternate as conductors, and they do a wonderful job. But
The amphitheater is the home of the Troy Civic Band.
The home of the Troy Civic Band, and so that concert, I hope people will come at 7:30 in the evening, bring their lawn chairs. But I hope that fills up like Tusk did. We
Now,
have a lot of other things going on.
I was just going to say, coming up on the 26th, Be the Match is back at Treasure
Yep.
Island, and the Air Force Band of Flight.
Thank you. I was hoping you'd say that because that is something special. And they're going to try to do the Treasure Island Amphitheater venue because they've downsized. And so that venue would be a perfect fit. But the Air Force Band of Flight, we've had them for many, many years. Always put on a great show, and no exception. So I certainly encourage people to come out to the Air Force Band of Flight, Treasure Island, 7 o'clock. That'll be on August the 27th, and the day before will be the match. Another great cause. And the Kendall family has really taken that on. Of course, Tom is the councilman here in the city, and his daughter has been affected with any of the bloodborne diseases and illnesses, and so he's taken a real high interest in that. It's a wonderful event, and it's we are the smallest city, by the way, to host that big event.
Wow.
And so they're expecting a lot of folks to come into Troy that weekend.
Also coming up, you got the Troy Mayor's concert. That's looking just a little bit into the future.
Well, and that's going to be a wonderful event too. We're going to travel the world, and we have guest conductors. I get the opportunity to try my hand at conducting, but it's a mayor's concert. That's on Sunday of August the 20th. On the 19th, we celebrate our diversity in our community.
Oh, that's right.
Festival Nations.
Wow, August is the month of activity.
I keep telling everybody August is a month, and then we start to think about the football season kicking off in August and schools starting back. So
you'll be calling the football games.
I will be there up in the press box. I'm very blessed to be the voice of the Trojan football season.
Also, something else I wanted to ask you. I noticed it this week when I came in and got my coffee over at Tim Hortons, and I thought, well, there's poles up all the way around that block, and they're putting up fencing.
Well, that should tip off everybody.
Well, that's what I was thinking. We're going to start seeing some earth moving.
Yep, Kettering Health Network has purchased that property. You see the signage there for the Troy Hospital, and the fencing allows them to kind of start the idea of we're going to be excavating and
the construction zone.
The construction zone. So that just signifies we're on our way.
And well, there was something else, and I don't know that we brought it up yet, but next door to the Troy Daily News, there's been some fencing and some construction going on over there too.
Well, thanks to the Lenz family who purchased that property and is developing that property both a mixed use for a professional building look, but also some residential look as well on the upper floor. So it has great possibilities. Again, it just supports the downtown. This is what we're trying to do. You know, we keep hearing a lot about the study, which came out of the America's Best Communities Initiative. One of them was to really work to bring our downtown into play with our river and our park system, which is all together a very beautiful area. And so now we're seeing investors seeing the possibilities and wanting to be a part of that. So I think the investors, I think our entrepreneurs, I think of our partners, many partners who have contributed their time, their talent, and money to making things continue to enhance our downtown, our river system, our park system, our recreational trail.
You know, if somebody said, well, would you like to invest in Microsoft? You know, if you go back in time and someone said Microsoft or Apple, people would have been, I don't know what that is. But some people went out there. This is what's going on right now. They see the opportunity of investing, and it's a worthwhile investment to do these things here in downtown Troy. So when folks are thinking, well, the extra bike lane, what do we? Well, people with the money that are willing to invest see and see the future of what it will be.
Well, if we don't move forward, we're going to move backwards.
Yep.
The world keeps moving on, and we've been blessed. Let's face it. I'm very proud to be a small part of this community, because we have had. We have a beautiful downtown. We have a beautiful river. We have a beautiful park system. We have one of the biggest recreational paved trails in the country, right here in this region. So why not? Let's keep it going. And that's what partners, and I keep saying partners because it isn't just the city of Troy. It is everybody sees the vision for the future to keep Troy a vital, very healthy community for the future.
Like you said, these were things that were looked at back with America's Best Communities.
Right.
And just because we're not in that contest anymore, or in that, it doesn't mean that we just go, and push it off to the side. It's about looking to the future.
Well,
and
the steering
what do we do?
It was made up of a whole lot of different partners within our community, and they saw the vision, they saw the power of let's move forward, and they're continuing to do that. So bless them for doing that. The Kettering Hospital, Troy Hospital.
That's just amazing.
It's another looking down the road of what the possibilities, the prosperity we hope will continue here in Troy.
Well, I think we've covered quite a bit here. Is there anything else that you wanted to add in this morning, Mayor?
Well, on a sort of a downside, we're still dealing with this opiate epidemic, and it's not just Troy. It's not just Miami County.
It's the entire country.
The entire country, but the epicenter is right there in Dayton area.
Yeah.
And we're right along the interstate. So we have to continue to deal with that. So after we talk about all these great things that are happening in Troy, we ought to also let people know we are still very concerned with intervention, prevention, and education, and we're trying to do different types of activities to help let people know we care, and we want to make a dent in this opiate epidemic.
Heighten the awareness that
Right.
there is help.
And we did have a Hope Over Heroin event. It was very successful. It was very faith-based, involved a lot of our social agencies, and involved a lot of us who care about others. And in Piqua, just down the road, this Saturday at 4:30, they're going to have a walk, a Hope Over Heroin walk. Starts at Moat Park in Piqua. I encourage people throughout Miami County to continue to show their support, because this is a faith-based event, and it's in its second year, and it's coordinated by church, social agencies, and different communities to be a part of that, to demonstrate that we are trying to make an effort to help others help themselves.
Thank you for adding that in, Mayor.
Thank you.
This has been the Mayor's Report with Mayor Michael Beamish. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN.